Well, the reason I choose Alibaba Group is I think, first of all, I really love Jack Ma. The emerging genetic and biotechnology industry is also a typical digital economy. It needs to welcoming the immigrants because America is built on immigrants. It's built by immigrants.
他是世界银行集团成员组织国际金融公司 IFC 首席经济学家，曾任通用汽车公司全球总部首席经济师，世界最大主权财富基金阿拉伯联合酋长国阿布扎比投资局首席经济师等职。他就是楚浩全。自1986年赴美攻读博士学位以来，楚浩全在国外已打拼20余载，成为了世界顶级经济学家。近日，他有意归国加盟阿里巴巴，是什么促使他做出这样的决定？
Well, the reason I choose Alibaba Group is I think, first of all, I really love Jack Ma. I think he is a visionary leader. And second is because I think what Jack wants to do for the Rohan Academy is the right thing to do, which is to understand the impact of digital economy on the broader society. So I'm not going to be going there as a business analyst or even business economist, but I'm going there as a researcher understanding how the digital economy will impact the wider society. Positively, negatively, both sides. We need to look at it holistically. So I think it's very, very interesting research challenge for me in the foreseeable future.
数字经济是人类社会发展出的一种新经济形态，如今日益成为全球经济发展的新动能，在全球经济发展中占据着重要位置。近年来，中国的数字经济正在高速蓬勃发展，随着大数据、云计算、互联网等新一代信息技术取得重大进展，新的人工智能应用场景不断被开发和挖掘。数字经济与传统产业深度融合，成为引领我国经济发展的强劲动力。楚博士十分期待自己将在国内展开的数字经济研究工作。
The digital economy is not a precise word, and there are various definitions of the digital economy. The way I understand it, although I need to learn more about this area, is that digital economy is dependent on turning the facts into numbers and through the manipulation of the numbers to get information, get access, and get value out of the numbers. So digital means the numbers. But my understanding of digital economy is probably wider than most people think. Yeah? Most people think of numbers only electronics. But I think, for example, the emerging genetic and biotechnology industry is also a typical digital economy. Why? Well, because we all know that our genetic code is actually digits. And all these, even though it is not in your computer, it is not in the clouds, it is part of the digital economy. Understanding how digital economy is going to evolve, not only the way it is today, which is predominantly reflected in the telecommunication sector, in the processing of data, but also increasingly it is going to be highly influencing how education is done, how healthcare is done, not just in manufacturing and communication and the traditional services sectors.
1986年，于复旦大学管理学专业毕业之后，楚浩全远赴美国乔治城大学攻读经济学博士学位。楚博士如今是世界顶级经济学家，享誉全球。但他与经济学竟不是一见如故，而是先结婚后恋爱。
My childhood dream was being a factory manager, so I went to Fudan to study business. And when I got a chance to study economics for free, right, because I won a scholarship, I jumped on the opportunity, but I didn't like economics at all initially. Particularly at the graduate school level, it's all about building mathematical models with, at least on surface, with little resemblance to reality, whereas what they teach in business school is very relevant. So for a long time, I really struggled about it, and I seriously considered whether I should abandon my study of economics and apply for a MBA program. But only many years after I started working as an economist and really get into it, I realized how fascinating economics is. And compared with analyzing the complex economic phenomena, you study the firm behavior, the system at the company level, or even at the sector level is so much simpler. And for me, it can get boring. So I'm very happy that I didn't abandon economics, and today I really enjoy economics.
楚博士自留学起始就清楚自己对未来的选择，他一直近乎严苛地要求着自己。他也建议年轻人审视自我，努力追求自己的目标。
Apply my knowledge in practice. So from a very early age, I decided, even though I was studying economics, that I would not go into academia. And at the time, I was able to devote almost every minute of my time to work and to study. So just to give you an example, where I live, Roslyn, right across the Key Bridge from Potomac River, there is a small island, Roosevelt Island. It's a very beautiful little park. So I lived there for more than 5 years, and never once I was on the island, even though it's just a few minutes from where I live, because I didn't know it existed, because my mind is so focused. I don't know whether I can do this again, but that's what I did at the time. So when you're young, you're different. I'm happy that I was able to pull it off, something that few other people was able to do, which is working full-time and finish your degree. Balancing, I think, is an approach that a lot of people promote, but balancing is something that I don't think is necessary. The reason being that it really depends. It really depends on your interest and what you want to do. So I have seen many successful people whose life are extremely unbalanced, but they were happy. They are happy and they are successful.
楚浩全曾在通用汽车工作的13年，亲历经历了汽车行业的辉煌和落寞。回首往昔，楚博士也有许多感慨。
Early in my career, I was heavily influenced by a career guidance book, and it's a classic book, and it's still published in publication today. It's called "What is the Color of Your Parachute?" So the essence of the book can be summarized in one sentence, which is "Do what you love." At that time, I was in my mid-20s. I fell in love with cars, sports cars, luxury cars, different kind of cars. When there is a job opportunity at General Motors, I jumped on it without hesitation, because I thought, wow, that would be really wonderful, no? If I can sit in the office and pretending to be working while reading a magazine, a car magazine. How wonderful would that be, no? And so I jumped on an opportunity, and I didn't regret it. I was very happy, and I'm still happy, because during this time, I was really passionate about my work. I think my talent and my expertise and my learning was utilized in full during that process.
在通用汽车工作期间，楚博士亲身经历了911事件。飞机撞上双子塔时，他正在世贸中心开会。
The second thing is I think remain calm when during crisis. I think that's very important. I think I remained fairly calm as I was escaping from the Twin Towers. And then the third thing is keep on learning and keep on shaping or training your judgment. During the process, I made a few judgment calls that turned out to be right. We would not be able to get out without the help of General Motors. As it turned out, General Motors care about its people, and they went to a Buick dealership and bought a new car from the dealer, and they gave us the car, and then we drove home non-stop, like 10 hours non-stop.
离开通用后，楚博士暂别美国，来到阿联酋， 进入阿布扎比投资局担任首席经济学家。在异域环境里，楚博士表示自己不仅收获了国际视野，更能从全新的角度来审视美国。
It was a very hard decision because I'm going to be leaving family. And I'm going to the Middle East. It's a very strange and seemingly dangerous place, no? But there are several considerations. Number one is like an intellectual challenge, because I have been a business economist for many years, and people always tell me that the smartest business economists are not in the corporate sector, but on Wall Street. So I want to see whether I can survive and thrive in the most competitive, cutthroat business, which is the financial sector. The second reason is that, as I said, the General Motors was going down, and even though by 2010 it has successfully moved out of bankruptcy and it was on the recovery bound, and I believe that the U.S. auto industry will also recover, but I don't believe that General Motors will go back to its past glory again, like what it was in the 1950s and 1960s. And then one additional factor that drove me to join Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is my belief that you truly needs to have a global perspective. And I think that moving to the Middle East, forcing me into a very strange environment, enabled me to look at the U.S. from a very different perspective. Because by that time, I had become a U.S. citizen, but I still don't think I truly understand America. I had a newfound appreciation of America, and I also find that America is not perfect. America has a lot of problems.
阿联酋如今对世界经济具有一定影响力，甚至有人说阿联酋控制着硅谷、华盛顿。对此，在阿布扎比工作4年的楚博士是这样说的
：One thing that ADIA always make sure that people understand its mission is that its mission is to protect and preserve the wealth, the oil wealth that the country has. So its mission is never about influence, about using money as an influence, whether in political, cultural, or economic, or any aspect. So that's not its mission. I think overall, the country has had a profound transformation process, largely thanks to the oil wealth that was discovered and started to used in the 1960s, but also strong leadership. Many people have remarked, and I tend to agree with them, that there are many characteristics of the leadership and the country's political and cultural system than compared with China. So there's a lot of similarities, and that observation is made not by me but by many other people.
楚博士于2014年重返华盛顿，加入世界银行集团成员组织国际金融公司 RFC 担任首席经济学家。在 RFC 负责的项目也让他更深入地研究了中国飞速发展的秘密。
Over the last couple of years, my job at RFC as a chief economist has transitioned from more of a manager, administrator to more of a research, focus on research and focus on thinking. One of the most significant study I've been engaged in is called the China New Growth Driver Study. And this is a study that our Premier Li Keqiang asked Jin-Yong, the World Bank president, to do. And at IFC, I'm responsible for this project. For a long time, I thought I understand the Chinese economy very well because I'm a Chinese and I've been looking at the China market for a long time. But this study really gave me the opportunity to look at China in depth. So for example, we went on a study tour of visiting 5 Chinese cities, some big, some small. So in the past, when I go to China, I always go to Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen maybe. But now I also went to Shenyang, I also went to Guizhou, went to Xi'an, not as a tourist, right? Talking to business people, talking to the local government officials, really enhanced my understanding of the Chinese economy. And based on that, I have formulated, if you will, a new theory of economic development. So this year, 2018, is the 40th anniversary of China's reform and opening. And on the internet, on WeChat, you have seen a lot of economists and scholars trying to reflect and try to explain why the reform and market opening process enabled China to grow at double-digit speed for 40 years. And my thinking of the secret of China's success and why China was growing that fast for that many years while the other countries cannot is because overall China has stimulated competition not only in the marketplace but also at the individual level and at the government level. And when you think about government, it's not just the central government but also local government and different departments within the government. So I think China's secret to success is really encouraging competition, encouraging innovation, encouraging reform at all levels.
世界银行的2大目标是终结极度贫困，促进共同繁荣。在 RFC 工作的4年多来，楚博士一直在为世行实现这2大目标而不懈努力着。如今离职在即，他也希望为世行提出自己的专业建议。
So what you will notice is that all the things that we try to do is to tackle the negatives. So there are poor people, there are inequality, there's a lack of clean water, lack of education, lack of healthcare, and so on. I think those negatives attacking the negatives are really, really useful and as a motivating tool to make us motivated. But I think what is even more motivating and even more uplifting will be turning from looking at negatives to look at the positives. So my proposal is that the World Bank's mission ought to be how to realize human potential is particularly relevant in today's world where the rise of robotics, artificial intelligence, and automation are threatening a lot of people's not only their livelihood, but also they are in the danger of stripping out of their meaning. What is the meaning of your life if your work and your means of making a contribution has been replaced by machines or by algorithms?
谈到中美贸易争端、美国政府所禁移民政策等问题，楚博士持乐观意见，并表示美国仍然是值得投资的国家。
This shift may not be a temporary shift, right? So those conflicts are gonna remain. I always tend to take a positive view of those conflicts. Competition is actually puts pressure, competitive pressure, to overcome our laziness and to stimulate economic reform and to stimulate changes that we know should be made a long time ago, but for whatever reason, whatever resistance, will not be able to make. The current administration is taking a hard line on immigration. I see pluses and minuses of this policy change. I think that the U.S. Overall remains the leading country in the global economy, and so it is very attractive. It needs to welcoming the immigrants because America is built on immigrants. It's built by immigrants. Now, having said that, we also need to do a reality check. The reality check is that due to many issues in education and in legacy issues, many Americans today feel that they are threatened by immigrants. So we need to understand them, and not only understand them, but provide solutions for them. Only then can we be welcoming more immigrants and getting stronger by continuous inflow of immigrants.
作为资深经济学家，楚博士也为我们提出了一些实际的投资建议。
My work experience at ADIA told me that really the best investment approach is diversification. The other approach is focus on valuation. I think that's also very, very critical, which means that you need to be thinking about, regardless of how bright or how seemingly secure certain assets are, there's always this downside. You need to think long and hard if you want to deviate from the benchmark. So one example is the housing market. Now today, the 08-09 crisis is triggered by a housing price crash in the U.S. But before the crash, a lot of analysts point out to the fact that the U.S. real estate market have never declined in over 100 years. Well, you say, okay, well, it hasn't declined for 100 years. It probably won't decline. No, but it declined significantly, right? So unimaginable things can happen and happens quite often, actually. So you need to always take a holistic view, and then making sure that you are not overly exposed to a certain area.
最后，楚博士也向年轻人提出了自己的建议。
I would say that live a meaningful life. So in retrospect, everybody can live a happy life, but a meaningful life is hard. Yeah, meaning that not only think about how do you get out of the society and out of this entire creation, but how do you contribute to the creation? Understanding the big picture. I think that is the advice I would like to give to the young people.